Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2020 and the second episode of our time at Tottenham Hotspur, where we are still continuing to spend an absolutely amazing amount of money. The transfer window has now come and gone, and we've now spent £376 million. I think it's my biggest ever transfer window. It got to the point where I ran out of money, and then when I found a brilliant centre-back for cheap, I had to ask Daniel Levy to sign him. And Daniel Levy actually went and signed him, which I have never seen actually work before in the game. So Daniel Levy, seeing the talent that I saw, went out and signed that player. But we have spent a lot of extra cash. I'm just going to check that nobody else has gone out. I think all of these were covered in the last episode, so there's no surprises there. We got a lot of money for Hakimi and Orsolini, who were the starters down the entire right flank last season for Spurs, so that's a big change that's happened there. Obviously Bellingham was our big marquee signing, but we've gone out and reinforced with two strikers. Joshua Zirkzee will be the lead advanced forward, with Harry Kane fulfilling the false nine role. You can see he's done well already with 4 league goals in 3 league games for us, 8.1 rating. He has a really good record. He hasn't played consistently. He was out on loan for a couple of seasons because Bayern Munich didn't want to give him a chance. Obviously they just signed Esposito, so I noticed there was a little opportunity there for me to steal Zirkzee from them, who's a player I've tracked for a little while. I remember him obviously being a Dutch player. He has been on the radar since my time at Ajax. Mason Greenwood as well is a steal for me at £60 million. I couldn't believe it when the scout said 60 million. Well, I think they actually said something like 45 to 70 million, but I managed to get him for 60. That's 17 finishing. He gives us another cover for advanced forward role, but he can also play the left flank or the right flank, probably more so on the left flank in our team. Fulfills our under-23 English signings that the club wants, and he's actually got a decent record at United as well, so I'm expecting a lot from him over the next couple of years. The transfer of Rafael Lorenzo did go through. We got him very cheaply for £25 million. He had a really good record for me at Barcelona in La Liga, and he's doing well for us so far in the league. And then the other signing was Makicha Burda from Shakhtar. This was the one that Daniel Levy organised. He's 29 years old, but look at that current ability and potential ability. His record is phenomenal, and I got him for just 17 million. He was at Manchester United for a couple of seasons. They didn't play him enough. He went back to Ukraine to catch up on his football, and we've just absolutely poached him from Shakhtar for a real steal. So that's excellent business as far as I'm concerned. And it means that the squad now is in a really good place. It's only really the fullback positions that I need to strengthen, and I mean need to strengthen. There are other areas I would like to strengthen, but generally I'm pretty happy with the way all of this is working out. So last time we managed to get a sensational comeback away from home against Sheffield United to win 3-2. We've since won all 5 of our Premier League games this season, and this one against Swansea, Ruben Dias sent off after 3 minutes, but it didn't matter because Zirkzee and Greenwood on their debuts both scored to give us the victory, even though we only had 10 men for the entire match, which is quite a feat if you ask me, and really good to see almost all of our signings starting absolutely perfectly and getting the goals that we need. So the first one, Zirkzee showing that determination he's got, stole the ball, ran through and finished beautifully. A lot of power in that shot to give us the lead. And then Luzala, the fullback, finding Ambere, and Ndombele over the top, Greenwood with the chest and the volley. The keeper probably should have saved it, but 2-0, and Greenwood and Zirkzee with the debut goals. This match against Burnley was a real fight, and the goal finally came in the 78th minute. Harry Kane showing why he is the club captain and why he is the Spurs, well, I'm sure will be considered a Spurs legend for years to come. Dele Alli with the ball was tackled, but Andre with the first time pass for Harry Kane, and he hit it hard, he hit it low, and he got it past the goalkeeper. And then in the next match against Bristol, a 5-0 win. Harry Kane and Zirkzee both up front, showing the damage they can do together. So I now have Kane, Zirkzee, Greenwood and Andre all available up front, which is 4 fantastic strikers to have. Kane with the first one here had to fight hard for it, but eventually his desire enabled him to get the goal there. Bellingham then off to Luzala, who's been impressing me this season. Kane got the finish, for his second of the game, and then Xerxes turned on the style. Kane sent it out wide to Greenwood, his ball inside, and Xerxes' near post header to get his first. He then got his second, ball coming from over the top there from Lozala, and Xerxes with the finish to make it 4-0 at the end of the first half. And then he got the penalty. Kane was off the pitch by this point, so Xerxes with the penalty got his hat-trick and made it 5-0. So what a start that's been to the Premier League. And when we look at the table, we do sit at the top, 4 points clear of Chelsea, 2 points clear of City and Liverpool. Chelsea, though, the real title holders here. They've won the last 3 Premier League titles under Frank Lampard, who is still there and doing a fantastic job at the club. They do have Erling Haaland up front, so they're going to be a real challenge this season. We don't play them for quite some time. We have games in December and then March in the league, so subject to change, of course. But overall, I'm really happy with this squad. I'm genuinely just think it's a fantastic squad. The defence, especially these full-back positions, remain a concern. Luzala, a good English right-back. He's a player that's come through the academy, so I'm really happy just to have him in there. If you're going to have an underperforming player, make it an academy graduate. Or a subpar player, make it an academy graduate. He has room to grow, not massively, but I think he can grow into a decent right back and be an option for a while to come. Alex Telles obviously can do a job at left back as well. So I'm just really happy with the wake up of this team. I quite like playing Greenwood on this left flank because it keeps him happy. It allows me to bring Andre up front. Ndombele and Dele Alli are available on the bench for me. Chukwueze is a big attacking midfielder down the right flank. So the squad is exactly where I'd want it to be, except for the full-back positions, where I'd like to sign an under-25 world-class full-back in each position, and then I'm really happy with this team. So we're in the Champions League. We're taking on Borussia Dortmund today. They are our biggest challenge in the group. I'm not sure if it's going to show who's in that group. I suppose it will when we get to the kick-off stage. But Dortmund, a reasonably challenging team, probably a team that I'd like to take on next as a manager in the Bundesliga, depending on how we get on at Spurs. But here we go, Shakhtar and Ghent, the other team. So we should be comfortably making it to the knockout stages of the Champions League. But I want to really have a good run at potentially getting a 4th straight Champions League title with our 3rd different team. So this is a big test of how we can do on the European stage with this Spurs side. As Brandt cuts inside, and it's a good save by Onana. I think Spurs were in the Champions League last season by courtesy of winning the Europa League the year before, but it didn't go too well from what I can say of my long run in the Champions League. And here's Kenner out wide to Greenwood. Beautiful touch from him. He's brought down in the penalty area, and that will be a penalty. The referee is going to go and double check, but he doesn't really need to. We all know that there are always penalties when they're in the box. It's only ever if it's on the edge of the box that it's usually a free kick. But the ref comes back to confirm, and there is the penalty which I believe Harry Kane will be taking. So Harry Kane, the Spurs captain, the legend, steps up and scores. And our Champions League campaign is off to the perfect start with a Harry Kane penalty to give us a lead away from home against Borussia Dortmund. If we can win this game, we will be the absolute hard odds-on favourite to win our group and get the more favourable knockout stage draw. So a very good start from the team. But this is a strong Dortmund side. They are going to come back. It's not going to be a walkover at this point. So our team really need to dig in and put in a good performance. And I think at the start of my time at Spurs, I need to do a few more shouts from the side than I normally do. Emre Can sends the ball back to Jonathan Tah. Now Hummels, tackled by Ambere. And Hummels does not have the pace to catch back up to him. Ambere gets through. It's off the woodwork, and Tah alive to the problem and getting the ball away. But a real scare there for Matt Hummels, courtesy of Ambere. And the ball there sent away. Bellingham did manage to intercept it, but we haven't kept the ball. Now Paqueta, who's really struggling for fitness in this game, sends the ball back into the midfield. Thomas out wide. Lodl has the ball, but it's taken away. Now Lorenzo over the top for Xerxes, charging down that right flank. He's got Harry Kane in the middle. He finds him, and Harry Kane unable to get that ball on target as it goes a little bit high and a little bit wide. But we're showing that danger. The team performing so well in this first half. A really good start to our Champions League campaign. And there is the half-time whistle. So a good start from the team. We look defensively solid as well. Lizala doing well in that right back position. Lorenzo's been fantastic since we brought him in. Diaz we know is fantastic, and Tellez is at least consistent, if not world beating. But we might need to take Lizala off with him on a yellow card. We can drop Shackleton, who's ordinarily a central midfielder, but we can drop him into that full back position for a bit of cover and a bit of freshness. And Beret can also come off for Chukwueze as we come down to the last few minutes of the game. We are still leading this match. 15 minutes to go. Borussia Dortmund look a little bit rattled. They seem to be struggling, and Tellez with the long throw goes to Xerxes. Now Greenwood, it's saved, but Harry Kane gets a finish to make sure we are going to win this game. A 2-0 lead we have now with 12 minutes to go. Harry Kane with both goals. Good work from Greenwood as well. Shame he doesn't get the assist for that, because it was his effort that parried by the goalkeeper into the path of Harry Kane, and it is a 2-0 lead. So really good stuff from the team. We'll take Nona Kene off and bring Tanguy Ndombele on for a little run around for the last 10 minutes. But a really good performance here from the team, and it does give me a lot of confidence going into the game against Liverpool, that we're on now 6-game winning streak in all competitions, beating teams like Borussia Dortmund along the way. The side is strong, and that is a very big win to start off the Champions League campaign there. Barcelona starting off with a win as well. Ajax starting off for a win. Ajax, it's worth having a little look at their transfer history, because money in, money out. £284 million leaving or coming into the club and their coffers. They did bring Donny van de Beek back to the team. Bergwijn brought in as well from Napoli, the former Spurs player. 271 million the year before that. 260 million the year before that, and then you're in the last year of my time at the club. So they have brought in £750 million, and not even. Oh no, they've spent 150 million of 750 million coming in. That is outrageous. Their transfer budget must be enormous, and Frank de Boer not spending it, meaning that Ajax will not challenge at the European level. So next up, we're going to take on Liverpool away from home. So Liverpool are going to be a real challenge for us, and a little bit of a shake-up of the team, because we've played a lot of matches in quick succession. It is going to be Kane and Xerxes still leading the line, Greenwood and Ambere still on the wing, but then Ndombele comes into the middle because Kenner has dropped into the centre-back position. I'm not going to put Ben Robinson in there, actually. We'll have Berda in there alongside Kenner, because Berda needs to just get a little bit of time to get used to the Premier League. Lizala out on the right, Alex Tellez out on the left, and Nana in goal. It's the defence that worries me a little bit for this one, because Diaz is suspended, and I think Lorenzo carrying a knock. So we're going to have to really do well to stop this team. They brought James Maddison in on the left flank because Mane not available, and Gravenberch was signed for £109 million. I was tempted to bring Gravenberch in, but instead I got Bellingham. So the two Ajax stalwarts are going up against each other today. This Liverpool team just doesn't change until these players retire. So we're going to have to put in a good shift to beat them. They haven't won the Premier League for quite some time now. So they're not the force they once were, but they have been dominating in Europe. And here's Maddison with a corner out wide to Salah. His effort off the post, and Harry Kane, the man getting it away, but a warning shot there from Liverpool very early on. We have a corner now, Tellez in, it's cleared out to Bellingham. Should lay that off to Ndombele, and does. It goes back to Lizala. Ambere into Xerxes, back out to Ambere. He whips it in, Kane's in there, it's Greenwood, and that's a really I describe that as a damp shot. It was so poor, nothing coming off by way of power. And it couldn't go into the back of the net. Lizala with a long throw. Kane, that would have been the first time the long throw trick would have worked for us in the Premier League, but not quite yet. Alex Tellez puts it in, cleared away, and not able to keep the pressure up. But we are in control of this game early on after that early scare from Salah. We are really putting Liverpool under a lot of pressure, and keeping that going is going to be key to winning this game. We have to just keep them under that pressure. We can't sit off and let them start getting shots in on our goal. But here's Maddison with another corner. It goes in. Militao over the top. I think set pieces are going to be a real weakness for us this season, as they were at Barcelona, until we can strengthen up that defence a little bit more. But a very, Very good first half from the team. Now we just need to keep it up in the second half and try and beat Liverpool. Telles with the corner goes in. It's a header that's just over the top from Berda. Very close to getting his first goal for the team in a big lead. Telles with the long throw. Xerxes in there, but Alisson able to jump and catch the ball before Xerxes could get his head on it. Now Salah finds Firmino running through the middle. Missed tackle. Firmino out to Robertson. He can have a shot. He does. Onana saves it. Salah on the line. Salah on the line. Get it away. Onana finally picks up the ball. But that was dreadful by the team. So many chances there for Liverpool to actually take the lead. And here they are now with a throw in from Robertson. Declan Rice over the top and Salah is in behind. I don't know what the team have done. They've switched off. And Mohamed Salah scores the goal that leaves us with work to do. Not good enough really, that. Absolute Route 1 football. You cannot be conceding goals to Route 1 football. Declan Rice with a great ball. Salah just played the offside trap really with a high line and beat the goalkeeper across his body. Onana maybe could have done a little bit better there as well. But the team, all their good work undone from just a bit of lack of concentration, I would say. Jamie Shackleton's going to come on for Bellingham. I'm going to take Amberi off for Chukwueze. I'm also going to take Greenwood off and bring on, no, not Dele Alli. Let's bring on David Neres on that left flank and see if he can make his first big contribution for the club. But here's Lusala into Amberi, round the corner for Lusala again. Good position at the byline. Greenwood, terrible header, and that's why he needs to come off the pitch. He's not made the difference today, and we don't have long left to make that difference. I would at least like to get a draw. We deserve a draw from this game. This Liverpool team have been quite lucky with their chances, but the difference is they've taken them and we haven't. And here's Alexander-Arnold's throw, cut out. David Neres with the long ball over the top. Xerxes not going to get it. Rice out wide to Robertson. Here's a danger from Liverpool. Robertson coming in, skips the tackle, skips another. It's saved, but Robertson finishes off his own good work to make it 2-0, and this is going to be our first defeat in the Premier League. We'll only be 1 point behind Liverpool. It's not the end of the world. This is the away game for us, so they will have to come to our backyard as well. But Robertson there just allowed to run through, and then team not alive to the loose ball in the 6-yard box, which is criminal really, and Robertson able to get a goal to make it 2-0. And they can even bring people like Lucas Torreira on now, which is really just rubbing it in. Elliott's on, Almada's on, and that's going to be it for us. A 2-0 defeat against Liverpool. Really disappointing, because I think we were the better team for the first hour of that game, and then Liverpool, when they scored, we just seemed to shrivel up like a shrinking violet, and it allowed Liverpool to just canter to the victory. So we never really threatened them, we never really challenged them after that goal went in. And if we look now at the games to come, Crystal Palace, Leicester, Shakhtar. There is an Arsenal game. I'm not sure that I want to show that one necessarily, but there aren't actually too many other games right up until maybe this point here, where we could do Dortmund United, or we could just go up to the United game and see how we're getting on. I think we'll probably play through a lot of these games. I think the early season could be quite boring to watch until you know how the land's going to lie and what kind of run you're going to have in the league and other competitions. So I'll probably play on quite a bit, unless coming into this Dortmund game we've had some slip-ups against Shakhtar and are looking in trouble. So do drop a like if you're enjoying the start to life in the Premier League with Spurs. Make sure to subscribe to see how we get on as this season progresses. But until next time, see ya.